Welcome back to the channel. We're doing another discussion. We're following up our previous Star Wars Unlimited discussion. And I figure, you know what, it is kind of fitting. I brought out the Spark of Rebellion. Not all of it, but some part of my Spark of Rebellion collection. Check that one out. A bunch of I'm pretty sure I have every single legendary in hyperspace. So, at least hyperspace. Some hyperfoes as well. So, try to see if you can spot which ones. But alright, what the hell are we talking about today? Well, if you didn't watch my previous video essentially we recapped the history of Star Wars Unlimited. So we went through set one, we went through the pre-release, obviously how a lot of stores were kind of uneasy by FFG, so initial supply was very low. Hint hint, why this is the most expensive box, even more so than every single regular booster box. Kind of insane if you think about it. And then we obviously talked about initial release. We also talked about the scalping issue. We talked about how that created fake demand. FFG overprinted to hell, sets 2 and beyond. And then we also talked obviously about the abysmal set 3. And then we talked about set 4 and Carbonite and how ever since things haven't been the greatest, right? So, why is this even a problem? I have seen some of the most insane takes regarding the state of the game online. It's just absolutely insane, and I see them get so many like upvotes, so many likes, stuff like that. It's just so baffling to me. I just don't understand the logic that a lot of these people seem to have. A lot of people seem to have the logic that, hey, who cares about value in a TCG? And I kind of just have to scratch my head because it's like on an individual level, I can understand that, right? For example, shit, this box went from like 250 to like 70, and I still kept it. All these cards dropped in value a lot, and I still kept them because individually, I like the IP and I like collecting it. That's fine, right, on an individual level. But when these people start applying it broadly and they start saying things like, oh, cheap boxes are great for the state of the game, it's great that everything is so cheap, who cares about this? Everything is going great. Like those kind of comments to me are just so baffling. I just don't understand the logic. Why are you proud that your game is rotting in shelves at 50% off MSRP? What? Like I don't understand why so many people are so thrilled about that. And you might say, "Oh, who cares? It's who's paying for this anyways." Your LGS. That's the problem. Who is paying for these cheap boxes at the end of the day? It's your LGS. LGSs are paying $70 a box for these, 170 per Carbonite. This situation is unsustainable. A lot of stores, if you go on the Facebook Marketplace, they are dropping like flies. They are dropping their supply. It's like it's radioactive, right? It's like it's kryptonite. They're just dropping that. They're dropping all their cases. They're just trying to get rid of it because a lot of people and a lot of stores especially have just gotten burned so badly by Star Wars Unlimited for 4 sets straight. This isn't like it's a one set situation. One set is bad and everyone's freaking out. No, this has been 4 sets. This has been a year and a half of nothing but stuff releasing under half MSRP. This is absolutely insane.
Jesus Christ. Fucking hell, man. I'm finished.
And anyone who says otherwise, I'm sorry. I think your vision of what constitutes a healthy game or what even is the business model of a TCG is very short-sighted, right? Let's actually go over the business model of a TCG. How are stores meant to order this product? Well, the idea of a TCG is actually very basic, right? Store orders set A, they make money selling set A, and with said money, they buy set B. It's actually very straightforward, right? If you think about it, you buy Spark of Rebellion, you sell Spark of Rebellion with the money that you made from Spark of Rebellion, you buy Shadows of the Galaxy. You sell Shadows of the Galaxy with the money that you sell Shadows of the Galaxy with, you buy Twilight of the Republic. With Twilight of the Republic, you buy Jump to Leipzig. Well, what happened in that process when for a year and a half or 4 sets straight, every single box I sell you for $70, $170 goes below cost? What then? Like, I just don't understand. I've never gotten an answer to this because it's just unreasonable. Like, what do you expect stores to do? Do you just expect them to keep losing money forever? No, that's just not feasible. So a lot of stores are dropping the game. And I've just seen some of the craziest takes. Like I said, it's just absolutely insane. I've actually seen some people try to even blame stores. Like, what the fuck? Like, that has to be one of the insanest copes I've ever seen. Like, I'm sorry. The product is clearly not up to par if nobody, not even the fans of the games, want to buy it at close to even MSRP, right? This is just absolutely insane. Like, I just don't understand what these people expect. If the product isn't that good, it's just not gonna sell. That's just a matter of fact. Like, dude, I don't even think Saul Goodman could sell Carbonite boxes like anywhere near close to MSRP. Like, that's how bad they are. And that's not a problem of the stores, that's a problem of the product. So again, let's think about this as a business, right? This is a business again. At the end of the day, a lot of people like to think, oh, hey, who cares about value because this is just a game, right? This is one of the more prevalent attitudes you'll see when it comes to the people who think this way. And yeah, it is absolutely a game. I absolutely agree with that, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, it's a product that has to be sold for stores to be able to keep getting said product, the new set product. Because here's the thing: do you think that FFG would keep producing the game if every single set stores just didn't order anything? If the stores just said, we'll just set it out. We know it'll go for cheap, so I'll just buy it from another store. Who cares? Do you think that they would keep going if they just literally made almost no money? Or if they just made zero money? No, so I don't understand how a lot of people place these expectations on stores, or how a lot of people have this like boogeyman mentality whenever someone brings up value, and they're like, "Oh, scalper, who cares?" Like, dude, no, that's worlds apart where we are. There's a difference between scalping, like One Piece right now, where One Piece is right now, where boxes are like what $500 a box, and right now where boxes can't even sell at above cost. That is a very, very big issue. So just before we close up, just because again, I do think this is very important. We're gonna close up with the numbers. I think that's just gonna showcase this as the most matter of fact as we can. I'm just gonna do a quick analogy with, like I said, Batman 2s. So imagine Batman 2s is your LGS. This is your LGS. Name your LGS, whatever this is. There you go. And then they're driving down this road. Imagine this road. This is a road. Imagine this road is a TCG, and there are different roads. Every single road is a different TCG. So this is the Star Wars Unlimited road. This is the Pokemon road. This is the Gundam road. This is the One Piece road, Riftbound, etc. It's Magic, etc., etc., etc. Whatever other TCGs you can think of, right? So let's think about it this way: you're driving down this road, and there are potholes along the way. Every pothole represents a set of below cost, not below MSRP, below cost, below what you paid for, right? Essentially. So let's pretend you're driving down a road and all you see is potholes ahead for a year and a half, for 4 sets straight. Why would you stay on this road? For the health of your car, your LGS, you would likely switch roads and go to a safer one, to a more sustainable TCG, a one that you can actually make some profit from to actually keep the lights on your LGS, you know? So that's a very simple way, hopefully, of understanding it for the people who maybe don't understand the more economic nuances behind it. And let's actually look at the numbers. Now, let's actually go a little bit deeper with this, right? So let's look at Secrets of Power, the newest set, obviously. So I think it's only fair. $65 a booster box, from what I recall. I'll put the exact picture. Don't worry about it. So let's go. $65 a booster box. Let's say whenever you sell something online, most platforms are going to have a 13% selling fee, or a fee, right? Just in general. If you're selling in your own website, you're going to have a credit card fee instead. So you're going to pay around $17.30 in cost to be able to sell this booster box at $65 on TCG Player / eBay. That is not good. I'm pretty sure you're left with what, around, I want to say what, 47.70, I want to say. Again, I'm doing this in my head, so I'll put the exact numbers, but that is horrible. That is, you're quite literally losing almost half of what you paid for and now you're multiplying that for every single box. And again, this doesn't happen, oh, in release they're like 100 and they start dropping off. No, now new boxes are coming out of the gate at these prices. This is absolutely unsustainable. This is horrible. If every single set is selling below cost, eventually the store is going to have to face the question of, when will I stop the support for the game? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because why would you keep supporting if you're going to keep losing every single time? And eventually, if more and more stores keep doing this, it's going to kill the game. It is literally that simple. That's how the business works, unfortunately. Again, you may disagree with it, you may not like it. That's just how it is. And again, eventually, if enough stores leave, this will just result in the death of the game. And you might say, well, that's kind of dramatic, isn't it? And the sad reality is that it's really not. This would affect everyone: players, collectors, even FFG. FFG eventually, if enough stores drop it, if the orders reach a low enough threshold, they will have to cancel the game because they have to pay this insane license for Disney. And if they're not making enough money, what do you expect them to do? They're gonna cancel the game. It is that simple. So this is a very dire situation that needs addressing. FFG needs to put all hands on board to improve the product. They need to change this. It is very important. So why does the product suck? That's obviously the next question, right? Why does the product even suck in the first place? Well, there are two problems in my opinion with Star Wars Unlimited product. Number one, legendaries. Legendaries absolutely suck. Nowadays, legendaries for the most part are kind of bad. You have what they end up doing nowadays is they end up pumping like 1, 3 good legendaries, and everything else is just like, oh, good luck with that. It's either mid or it's ass. There's nothing else, and it's just 3 good ones. And guess what? When you skew it so badly that the odds of pulling just good legendaries in general are reasonable, when the odds are just not in your favor, guess what? Our people are gonna end up doing? They're just gonna buy singles because why would you gamble? Why would I pay even at this insanely low prices? Why would I pay $65, 70 plus tax when I can just buy 3 copies of Queen Amalaya for less than that? And I'm not even guaranteed one in a box, right? Because most other legendaries kind of suck. Why would I do that? That's the problem when you skew your legendaries too much and you only have like 1, 3 good legendaries, which are meant to carry the entire price of the box, right? That's just not how you sell a booster box. It's just not going to work out because most people are just going to see that and say, why the hell would I even gamble in the first place? I'll just buy the singles. And in my opinion, that is why Spark of Rebellion, surprisingly enough, again, this box is quite literally about to be rotated out. And it's more valuable than every single new booster box. That is embarrassing. And why is that? Because legendaries in this set were absolutely insane. You could pull a Boba, you feel godly. You could pull a Darth Vader, holy shit. You could pull a what's it called, Luke Skywalker. You could pull a Millennium Falcon. You could pull even the bad ones, right? Even the ones that started off kind of bad. Force Lightning started off pretty bad, started off pretty cheap, and guess what? It ended up becoming insane. Aggression ended up becoming pretty good. Like even Vigilance, absolutely insane as well. Even the bad ones ended up becoming absolutely insane. They only had what, like really what, like 3 bad ones? Black One, Change of Heart, and the green one. I forgot the name of that green one. I'll put a picture of the screen. But that it. Home One wasn't even that bad. So for the most part, they had good legendaries, which actually made the risk worth the reward, right? Even if you didn't pull Vader, even if you didn't pull the best ones, you still in general had something to justify the price of your box. I'm not saying you have to go positive with that. Again, most TCGs you're not gonna go positive. Right? That's very unrealistic. But again, just making it feel worth your while to open. Hyperspace foils were very rare, so they felt good. They had decent prices for the most part, especially the legendaries and rares. They were absolutely insane. And even rares, they were good. A lot of rares were very good. So I just don't understand what's been happening with the latest sets where they just make so many bad legendaries. It's just not really worth opening at that point, right? Like why would you open it at that point? So a lot of people just have steered towards singles. That's a big deal. That's a very big problem. And let's actually look, in my opinion, at the second reason. It's not just that you have bad legendaries, right? Which end up diminishing the reason to open your booster box because again, realistically speaking, you're opening a box for legendaries, right? You're not opening a box for a showcase. You're not opening a box just for a showcase. It's what, 1 in 6 boxes, and that's not even guaranteed, right? Obviously, if you buy a case, that's your odds. You're not just gonna buy an entire box just for that. You're gonna buy it mainly for the legendaries, and when your legendaries don't feel legendaries and they feel like more like crap, it just makes it feel very bad to open your product. But all right, what else? What else is happening with, in my opinion, Star Wars Unlimited product? Here is the crux of the video. I know it took a while. I know this is gonna be a longer one. Hopefully you're still with me. But this is gonna be my main takeaway of this video. Obviously, make better legend, but I think that's very easy thing to say, right? Make better legendaries is very common sense. Kill Carbonite boxes. Boom. It is that simple. Am I saying this is gonna solve everything? No. but this immediately will make your boxes actually feel more worthwhile opening. Why? Carbonite boxes have done nothing but cannibalize its own product line. Ever since Carbonite boxes have come out, not a single regular booster box has crossed the $65 mark cost. Not a single Carbonite box right now is above $200. So clearly, not even the premium line is even really worth that much. So why do we even have two failing products instead of consolidating into one and working and making a better product, a working product, a successful product, a profitable product for stores, so they can actually continue going with the game, right? So they can actually continue supporting the game, and so they can. And if it works out, if that product becomes successful, then you can start creating new lines of products, right? You can't just have a failing product and start launching new products from it. That's just never gonna work out. And why is the problem? What even is the problem with Carbonite boxes, right? Why am I hating so much on them? Well, my problem with Carbonite boxes, and this is even before changes, was they killed showcases, they killed legendaries, they killed hyperspace foes, they killed rares, they killed every single rarity of the regular booster box. It made regular booster boxes feel absolutely worthless because the carbonites were so inflated that they just flooded the market, right? Again, especially you have to realize, right, when boxes start dropping very fast, especially these like new ones like Seekers of Power Carbonite, when they start dropping, a lot of stores will just open it to try to sell singles, to try to recoup their money that way, right? Because hey, they could get lucky and get maybe a serialized, and at worst, guess what, you're already selling below cost. It doesn't really make sense anyways, right? So a lot of stores, once it gets to such a point when they're already below cost, they will just open the boxes and sell singles. And guess what, Carbonite boxes had one showcase every two boxes. That is absolutely insane. So guess what happened to showcases? They absolutely crashed in the market. No showcase is really worth much ever since. Uh, what's it called? Serialized cards, the thing that were meant to be this big thing for Carbonites, they barely sell. Because the problem with serialized cards, and this is gonna be sound hilarious, is that they're not that rare. And you might say, okay, you're tripping. You're absolutely tripping. What do you mean serialized cards aren't rare? They're literally numbers. They're literally number cards. What do you mean? The problem is you have way too many percent. You literally have, let's go to jump to Lightspeed. You have 11 serialized cards. That is 2,750 serialized cards. Does that feel special to you? And that's one set. That's one set. That's every single set. You're going to have over 2,000 serialized cards. That's absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. What you need to do is, okay, so they cannibalized the product, right? I already went over that. They essentially juiced them up in every single rarity that you could get in these and killed it. What about the changes, right? A lot of people are gonna say, well, yeah, who cares? They changed it. My problem with these changes is they don't really address much. If anything, they actually don't really address anything. The only thing they quote unquote address is the showcase because they made it a little harder to pull in the carbonite boxes, right? What else does it address? You're still gonna have a bunch of serialized cards. A lot of people might seem to think, oh no, 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 they're reducing serialized cards to 100 and 25 and 50. They already said so. No, they said they're gonna reduce some serialized cards to that. That implies that we're still gonna have a bunch per set. So they're still not gonna sell at all because they're still not gonna feel rare. So collectors are not gonna care about it. And then what else did they even do? They reduced showcases. That's the one thing I agree with them. And then guess what they did? Now you're getting 6. You heard that right. You're getting 6 hyperspace foils per carbonite pack. So essentially, every single rare in the box is most likely gonna be worthless because you're gonna get a bunch of copies of hyperspace foils and hyperspace. So essentially, most anything rare and below, it's absolutely cooked. Every hyperspace is absolutely cooked. And what does that even leave us with? What, legendaries for it to justify the price of a box? No, because they actually also made them easier to pull. I mean, seriously, I just don't understand the logic. So your problem with your game was that cards weren't even valuable enough to justify opening the box, and you make them even worth less by flooding us even more with it. I just don't understand the logic. It's very bizarre to me. I don't get it. even in regular booster boxes, you're gonna get a hyperspace foil per pack now. So again, rares and anything below, and even legendaries now, because again, you're gonna make them even easier to pull. So even those good legendaries, those 2 to 3 good legendaries, unless they start making them like Spark of Rebellion, where every legendary for the most part is good, then I can kind of see it as okay with this, with like, okay, you're gonna pull more legendaries because these are gonna actually be worth it. But they have given me zero reason to trust that they're gonna change that, because they haven't said anything about change design in legendaries. So they have given me zero reason to think they're gonna change their philosophy on that. So we're absolutely cooked. The market is gonna be saturated with legendaries. It's gonna be saturated with hyperspace. It's gonna be saturated with hyperfoils. Everything is gonna be worthless.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
Why would you open a box at that point? Interesting question. I'm kind of curious if you guys agree. In my opinion, they should just kill Carbonite for this reason. They're just over flooding the market with too much stuff. And what this would do essentially, if you kill Carbonite, you roll the contents. Essentially, the only thing at this point is what Prestige and Serialized. If you roll Prestige and Serialized into regular boxes, obviously you can make Prestige. Here, I'll give you a free one. You can make Prestige cards, 1 per box. There you go. You can make them somewhat rare, right? Then you can have Serialized cards. Obviously, you can do whatever you want with those. You can make them as rare as you want. I don't even know the odds on those. And then what you should do, though, is have 1 character fitting to the set. For example, on this one, this is obviously Spark of Rebellion. Guess what? You could have done it, hypothetically speaking, obviously not anymore, but hypothetically speaking, if Serialized were around for this set, you could have done a Luke Skywalker Serialized. Imagine how sick it would be. 1 out of 100 Serialized Luke. That's it. No more. No 250. No, oh, here's another 10 cards that you have to get per set that are also serialized. No, like it's just gonna devalue them, right? So let's actually make serialized cards special. Again, these are quite literally numbered cards. Let's actually make them feel special, my guy. So that's just my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree. A little bit of a more disjointed video, a little bit more of a ranty video. Hopefully you guys don't mind it though. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It just sucks to see an IP that I used to care about a lot. Obviously, Star Wars is an IP that I grew up watching, the prequels especially. They were coming out when I was a kid, so they were playing them everywhere. I was watching them a lot as well. I had the DVDs, and I just remember, especially obviously episode 3. I was a kid, so you could imagine I was rewatching that one a bunch of times, right? Over time, I learned to appreciate 2 a little bit more. 1, still a little bit mixed on, but I've always been mixed on 1. I'm not gonna lie, but I can still find some good things from it. But again, I just love the IP. It just sucks to see the game being treated so roughly by stores, by vendors, all these people that just don't even want to touch it anymore, right? They don't even, like, if you ask a vendor right now, hey, do you take Star Wars Unlimited? They'll probably just laugh at you. Like dude, that's how bad it is. It's just it sucks to see. So I really do hope that FFG can turn the ship around. I really do hope that this is something that can be fixed. It's not too late.